What's good, everyone? Welcome back to the NOA Podcast. Speaking as your co-host, Tyler, I'm here with my man, Trey. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Thank you guys for continuing to tune in week and week out. We truly, truly appreciate you.
Thanks.
You can find us on Instagram. That's going to be NOA_podcast. All episodes are available on YouTube, Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts. You can also, please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel because we have the Wednesday show that just comes out on YouTube. We also have other YouTube channels. We have NOA Reacts for those who likes reactions. We have NOA Adventures, which is our vlog channel, and then we also have NOA Podcast Clips for those who aren't able to watch the whole thing. They can watch the clips. If you want to follow me and Trey on Instagram, you can. Mine is Tyler_Waller3. His is Trayquan_Park7. And Trey, let's get into it. How you doing today, Brody?
I'm doing quite well, man. Got no real complaints. Got to sleep in today, which is a little bit of a change. Overall, I'm doing quite well, man. How are you?
I can't complain. Definitely a change for me as well. I had work today.
Yeah, how was that?
It was easy, bro.
You didn't do much work?
I did nothing.
That's not bad for a Monday, though.
Bro, I went there, and obviously, you always expect to go to work and, work.
Do work.
You know,
yeah.
actually.
Yeah. That's why you're here.
Exactly. So, that's kind of what I was, expecting. But I walked in, bro. I sat down. It was just me and my boss. She was scanning a patient. I came in, there was no patient, so I'm really just chilling. A couple hours go by. Her next patient comes, I get her changed.
Was it you and her just the majority of the time?
Nah, just in the morning, just until 8. And then two other people.
So you went in
at 7.
Oh, okay.
I went in at 7, it was just me and her for an hour.
Oh.
Then 2 more people came in. But I had no patients scheduled for my room. And the patients I did have, the room First time the patient was like, I'm too claustrophobic. I can't be in here.
And because of that, they just stopped doing the test.
Yeah, they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't force you.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm like, are you sure? But then she ended up going to another room, which is bigger. So she went there. And then I had this other dude. He came in, put him in and everything. The machine just wouldn't work.
Was it similar to what had happened last week where you said your systems went down?
Nah. This was completely different.
This was different.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That was the whole network and stuff. This was just my magnet.
Oh,
this machine just wasn't working.
Okay.
So we just had to shut it
Recalibrate
down.
it.
Type
whole
shit.
Man.
Shut it down and all the other shit.
And that took time, of course.
Yeah. So he went to another room.
Okay.
And after that, I basically I was like, all right, there was no one to scan, bro.
So you just waited. You just sat there really waiting until the room.
Yeah, I was just really just chilling. I mean, I went in that time. I cut it off, turned it back on. Cut off, turned it back on. My coworker said, "Hey, do you want to go to lunch?" And I was like, "Sure." So I went to lunch, came back.
They were still trying to fix the machine at that point.
Yeah, they had the IT guy come up, so he's now fucking with it.
Yeah.
But then there's another patient that came in, which is a pacemaker. So we went to go do her, but I ended up shout out to Mike. Mike ended up doing her
Because
so he
he's training.
Yeah,
two.
so I helped him grab some of the materials and stuff like that, and I had to figure out how to find the special type of form that I needed or whatever. But by the time I had to figure out some paperwork, I came back and Mike was already started scanning her. So I sat down.
Yeah, you just watched.
Homie scanned it, and I'm like, all right. I look at the clock, bro. It's 1 o'clock. I'm out at 2. I'm like, my hands. I'm done, bro. I'm
So it's one of your easier days.
Probably the easiest day. Also, I work 12-hour shifts. So today I worked
much less,
8 hours, 7 hours, something like that.
Yeah, much.
So
less.
It's just different, bro. I walked home, the sun is shining, nigga. It's not even fucking dark.
Because you came home during the afternoon,
Type shit.
so it's not too shabby.
Yeah.
Not too shabby. How was the walk back?
It was nice. It's really nice out today.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, it was nice. Some of the walk, I talked to this dude. I think his name is Ray.
Really? Just some random person that you happen to meet?
Nah, he actually works at the same hospital.
And y'all were just walking back in the same direction?
Yeah, he does transport.
Oh, really?
So we were walking. I saw him walk out. And I was like, yo, what's good? So I just waved and kept walking. But then he kind of caught up to me because we were walking in the same direction. And I talked to him for a while.
Oh, really?
Then we split off. Yeah.
It's interesting. I've never heard of this character before.
Yeah, I mean, because when he's from transport, and there's nothing wrong with transport, of course not, but just typically they're in and out. you know. So
Yeah.
they drop the patient off.
Yeah, they don't really be
And
hanging
then
out.
leave, yeah. But with him, like every time I see him, I try to be friendly with damn near everybody, like all the transporters. I try to be like, yo, thank you, like try to be respectable and shit. He just happened to be someone who I just talk to just like a little bit more. But even with him, like I'll talk to him just for like a little bit, but then he got to go do his thing, and I got to scan the patient. So it's not like we sitting there forever.
Are you very social at work? Like you a sociable person, or you tend to be like by yourself? Like I'm just cool. Like I know you have friends and such, but like before all like the friends and all that stuff, like were you a sociable like person at work?
Yeah, I pretty much talk to everybody. I won't necessarily say I always go out my way to like go and talk to people, but like especially in the beginning, like if I like first day on job, I'm very much of, especially if you're gonna work in my department. Hi, what's your name? Oh, okay, my name is Tyler.
Has it always been like that?
Have I always been like that? Pretty much, yeah. Every time I started. Also, when I started working, that was when I very first started working. That was the beginning of me being social. So like, my first job was at Timberland when I was 19. That was the start of me being social.
I remember you were telling me about that summer that you
Exactly.
went out and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, I had to talk to patients. I had to talk to customers that came in.
True.
I was like, yo, if these are my coworkers, I want to kind of like get to know them a little bit. And also, it's easy to talk to people at work because if you have nothing to talk about, you can at least say, how do I do this?
Yeah.
I'm new here. What is your protocol? So they can at least build rapport like that. And they realize, okay, you're kind of cool. You slip in a little bit jokes here and there. And now they're like, oh, okay, this dude's kind of cool. Then from there, I kind of build on where are you from, by the way? Okay. And then they start telling me their story. Some people are, especially because now I work with a lot of adults, some people are married. So I'm like, you're married? How long you been married for? You have kids? How long? Yeah. And just go on with that.
Go off of what they tell you.
Exactly. Or like some people, aren't married, but I could just talk about like just life and stuff like that and just kind of pick their brain. So normally, and especially in the workplace, I'm pretty social. I think now I've kind of toned it back a little bit.
Really?
And what I mean by that is just because I kind of know everybody in my department. So I think I feel like I go through more periods of time now where I might just be like just quiet and like to myself.
Even when there are people there?
Yeah. So like sometimes there'll be like 3 or 4 of us there, and we might just be sitting in silence. And there's 3 or 4 of us there, and all of us are engaging in a conversation. So it kind of just like depends. Sometimes if I'm feeling talkative, I'll come up in, because there's sometimes I'd be in a mood to kind of like talk. That's the case.
Do you do that with everybody though, or do you do that with specific people? I'm assuming, if I had to guess, I'm assuming it's more along the lines of specific people. Like how often are you like approaching people that you don't know to like talk to them while at work? Like does that happen as often as it used to, or
no? Because I don't move around as much. And what I mean by that is, I do MRI. Because of my job, I stay in my department. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just
kind of like closed off from.
We're kind of closed off because we have the magnet, which is huge, and that has a whole bunch of safety stipulations and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm much more closed off. When I was doing X-ray, I'm walking around the hospital.
Much more.
So I'm seeing.
You can't do both?
I mean, I can. I just said, at this point, I got to get another job.
No, like you can't do both working at the same place? Like you can do both. Because I'm assuming they have X-ray techs there.
I can't do both same day, if that's what you mean.
No?
Nah. Like, I can't, like
walk out of one department, walk in the other one, do an X-ray, walk back over, do an MRI.
What? I've never asked, but I just don't see them being like, this is okay. Like, they would employ me, but I think they'll be like...
Different days?
Wednesday, you're X-ray.
Yeah.
Thursday, you're back down in MRI. Friday, back down in MRI. Saturday, X-ray. I don't see them, like...
Go back and forth.
Intertwining, yeah. And I think the only way they would do that is if just, like, they're that short-staffed.
Yeah, they just need...
And they're just like, yo, bro, like, we just...
If you're willing to do it, we'll take
Come on. Yeah. But, like, I just don't see them, like, just... Like, half my shift I do...
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah. Or maybe not even half. Like, while you have people, you do scans. And then, like, when you run out of people, you just leave and go.
Just leave it.
Go do X.
There you go. When all my patients are done, it's like, yo, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
I'm going to catch y'all later.
Go do some X-rays.
Nah, they don't want that. Because also, like, in terms of MRI, like, days I'm scheduled to work, like, it's me. So without me, we're now considered short-staffed.
Yeah.
You know, because they're counting on me being there for my whole shift.
Y'all don't have a lot of backups?
No, not really.
Wow. No second string or third string.
Nah, but then now they gotta call people on their day off. Imagine your day off. Imagine if you were on your day off.
But don't they got like per diem people?
Yeah, but like per diem typically it's still like a schedule. Like unless they're that short staffed, they're not finna call you and be like, Trey, can you come in today? Unless it's like an emergency. And they're not gonna kind of like rob Peter to pay Paul. So we're gonna take Tyler out of the MRI department, put him in X-ray. Yeah. And then we're gonna hope that Trey says yes to coming in on this day. Because if you're like, no, I'm off. What are they gonna do?
They can't force you to come in.
That's what I'm saying. Unless you're scheduled, they can't be like, well, Trey, you're gonna be fired. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not gonna.
Yeah.
It just ain't gonna be like that.
Yeah.
So because of that, it's like, so they're not gonna take me out. But I feel like I talked to more people probably when I was doing X-ray. Because one, there are much more X-ray techs. So I talked to a whole bunch of the techs. Now I'm also walking around on different floors and shit like that. So now I'm meeting different nurses or whatever.
Did you like it more when you were quiet, or do you like it more that you speak now? Just working in general. So essentially all your years of work experience from 19 to now, what you experienced when you were quiet compared to what you experienced when you were talkative, what do you prefer?
I guess overall probably talkative.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much a quiet person. Like I'm pretty much a very to myself person. You already know, quite reserved. Like I don't really.
Yeah. We're similar in that regard.
Yeah, like I don't really tell people a whole bunch of what's going on in my life or none of that. But I think I'm also a very curious person. So I ask a lot of questions and I listen to a lot of people and I like to observe people. I've read the Laws of Human Nature, which I know we talked about on the Wednesday show one time, and I do think that book. I just find human nature interesting, and that book kind of opened my eyes to some things.
So you take the time while you're having conversations to study that, I'm assuming.
Yeah. It's like study some of the shit I remember from the book, interacting with people, watching how they interact with me. I think all that's kind of cool. And I also think it makes work fun. So, like, imagine going to work and not talking to anybody at all for the whole time. Yeah. It's kind of trash.
True.
Or going to work and having a rapport with your coworkers. It just makes it a little bit more fun and enjoyable, you know? And I think that's kind of why, like, I can enjoy my work. It's not necessarily just the work, but it's like people who I work with are, like, pretty cool. So, like, today I work with Mike. I just sat there and just talk shit to Mike. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Plus, he's like fucking 21, so he's around
he's around our age group. Yeah.
So I just sat there and just popped shit with him because there was nothing else to do. Other than that, would have just been like sitting on my phone watching YouTube or like
facts.
Or like, I can't call for like there was no patient that could come down. So so what am I supposed to do?
And I'm assuming you can't be on your phone while you're at work.
Nah, you can.
You can be on like phone calls though.
I don't think you're supposed to, but like sometimes we do like
it's like say you were to put your headphones in, right? I know you won't do this because like you're not a big voice type person anyway in the first place. Yeah. But say like you put your headphones in and like you just like hopped in voice while like the team was on and like maybe you didn't talk a whole bunch, but like you said like one or two things. Yeah, like you just like sat there.
Yeah, I could. As long as it doesn't interfere with my responsibilities.
You're perfectly fine then.
Yeah, like I could be on. Like I've taken phone calls at work. Like my mom is calling me, my dad is calling me, my sister is calling me.
Oh, you didn't have to excuse yourself.
Nah, I mean sometimes I just do because I'm like I just don't want to be here. But other times, like especially if it's just me, like yeah, sure. Oh. There's also just like downtime. Like there are some times where we are busy and it's like patient after patient, or we're fucking behind, so we're trying to catch up. But there are times when we finished all the outpatients. And there are like no inpatients in the queue to come down. No one can come down. We done called everybody and everybody has a story about why they can't come down to MRI. So at that point, it's kind of like,
well, what do you do?
What do we do? And that's kind of when we chill. We might talk a little more. If someone calls me, I might just be like, all right, let me take this call because there's none.
You ever thought about like, and this is specifically for the downtime days? Yeah. Before I ask this question, actually, when you're taking this downtime, or this downtime does happen, I know it probably isn't all that often, but when it does take place, is it usually hours or is it just like minutes?
Nah, I think it depends. Honestly, it really just depends.
Do you have like an average? Like give me an idea, because
I say between 15 minutes to like an hour.
You ever thought about like bringing Uno with you and just like playing Uno with your coworkers, or is that also not allowed?
But I would. I have done that before at clinical.
Yeah.
I just forgot, bro. I should probably keep Uno cards in mind.
I used to do that shit all the time.
Yeah. I did that at clinical. When I was a student, there was nothing going on. I pulled out.
Yeah, Uno. I was like, you ain't got shit else to doing.
Type
you know? I understand. Of course, I don't work at MRI, so I don't know what the ins and outs are, what you can and can't do. So it really is just an idea. But seeing as though you had this downtime, I was like, all right, well, why not just... Because I was going to be like, yo, why not play like Monopoly or like some board game or something like during the downtime, you know? I know, yeah. Monopoly,
lot,
like
bro.
the setup,
What?
the whole thing, it is a lot. It is a lot. But like, why not like Uno and just like regular cards?
I mean, Uno, yeah, we probably could.
Know? I know you can't gamble, like you can't pay crafts like we play with Mike.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot.
I ain't gonna lie.
Imagine your boss and coworkers all around the table.
Yo, everyone throwing it out. Everyone's just...
There's a whole bunch of ones.
Type shit.
Yeah, man, that'd be funny.
But that would be good to like bring Uno or stuff like that. But typically we
give you something else to do besides just your phone.
Yeah. But typically we either just talk or like everyone kind of just like on their phones. Sometimes I'll just leave.
Do you bring books with you?
I used to, but actually recently I haven't been.
See, I've actually thought about doing that. Like bringing books to work, seeing as I'm bored sometimes.
You should, bro.
I did maybe like last week. I didn't read it though, so it was just kind of like, why did I bring it with me?
It's like, why are you here? Like, you're just taking up space. You're just taking up space.
Because it made my bag so much heavier, bro. I'm like, yo, why did I bring this with me? If I'm not even gonna read it, what's the point?
Maybe force yourself to read it. Be like, all right, if I'm able,
if I am gonna bring it, yeah.
Even if you read a couple pages, at least you could be like, well, I
read it.
I read. Yeah. Yeah. Well, crazy enough, I think that's why I stopped bringing like books.
Because you brought it, you just didn't read it.
Yeah. Also, it's a little different now because like I could walk to work. Before I was 2 hours for work, so I was also like, well, since I'm staying over, if I want to like read after or something, like I still can type of shit.
Because I'm assuming you did either before or you did that after work. So usually like
I have done it after work, or sometimes I'll just do it during the downtime. But I should start.
It'll give you something to do because I'm thinking about it. Like, well, you have downtime. It's like, all right, well, why not?
Yeah. Either be chilling or like crazy enough, I'll make a post about the podcast or something. So like, I'll make a post. Sometimes I'll just go for a walk. Like, I'll just like walk around the hospital, see what I can find. That's where I be finding all the crazy places to do push-ups and shit.
Yeah, I be noticing, man.
Because I just go on walks.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting that you do that. Do you tend to socialize with the people while you're on your walks?
Nah, typically I can't.
No?
Nah. Like if I'm walking, well, it depends during the...
Because I was
it don't even depend.
I was going to ask, like, why not... I understand socializing with those in your department and all that. And you said you kind of like know everyone now, so like, you know, there really isn't as much socializing in that regard. I get that. So now that you've, I guess, figured out everyone in your department, you're going on these walks. Like, why not just like converse with the people that you see when you're walking?
You know, that's a really good idea. I don't necessarily have a specific reason why. There are sometimes I go on my walks. I think the time depends on it. And what I mean by time is there are some times where I go on walks. It's like 8, 9 o'clock.
At night?
At night. And I'm walking around the hospital.
So it's empty?
Exactly. So like,
okay.
I'm walking in the hallway. It's just me.
Yeah, ain't nobody else around.
Or like it's a cleaning person. Some of the cleaning people, I'm like, oh, hey, like, how are you? Maybe not have a whole conversation, but like we kind of like recognize each other. But like today, for instance, I went for a walk and there was more people. But I do think some of it is I just also just assume like you're walking with a purpose, like to like go to work or something like that. So I think I just assume like they're kind of like just like busy. So I'm like, okay.
And you know, I'm not gonna sit here and be like it's not a fair assumption to make because you're in the hospital.
Type
chances
shit.
are
people
you
are like
do have.
They're like
Chances are you do have shit to do. So I can't say you're incorrect in that statement, but I will remind you what people say about the word assumption. Makes
when you assume you make ass.
Yeah. Though I understand where it's coming from because it does make sense. If you see a person walking quite quickly with like a lab coat on, chances are you might have a patient you got to get.
Yeah, like he's coming back from lunch. Like
so quite clear. You should probably get something done. But I think it'd be a cool little, I guess, activity for you. On the side.
And crazy enough, I did think about recently. I've been thinking about this. I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna do this, I probably won't. But, I thought about doing X-ray again.
Really?
Yeah, just
Why won't you? Why do you think you won't?
why won't I? Because one, I enjoy my schedule. Two,
You think so before you continue, you'd have to pick up more shifts essentially.
yeah,
Okay.
because like, I can't do it the days I work doing the MRI. So I enjoy my schedule. Also, like sometime like I probably would be at work right now. I'll probably still be at work compared to like now sitting here recording with you. You know what I mean? So I think it's also going to take a little bit away from the podcast.
Would you? I mean, but that's if you were to pick those days.
That is true.
Like, what if you worked on the weekends or something? Like, I'm not saying get rid of your weekends, but like, if you work on the weekends, you could do that X-ray stuff, still do your MRI stuff if you wanted to, and you could still record.
That is true.
Perfectly fine.
That is true.
Could you possibly, and this is just an idea, but could you possibly swap out? So swap out MRI.
I'm not swapping out. Nah, that's not an option. That's not an option.
Is that could that happen at all though?
If I wanted
I know
to,
I know you don't want to. I understand.
What's good, y'all? Sorry for such an abrupt ending. We were having some technical difficulties. But nonetheless, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for rocking with us. We truly appreciate you guys. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and on Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on Instagram. That's going to be NOA_podcast. You can find us on TikTok. It's going to be NOA Podcast 1 and NOA Podcast 2. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for new content weekly. Thank y'all. We appreciate it. Take care.